Let's appreciate doctor. Let's appreciate doctor. I want to see the clap. I want to see plenty, plenty clap. If you don't clap very well, Oga will not say the secret of $1 billion. Oh. So just clap very well
Anyway,
so that
don't worry.
it's
You're
gingered.
trying to bribe me. You don't need to bribe.
All
Already
right. So
promised.
I leave you in the hands of Dr. Sunday Olorishe. You are most welcome, sir.
Yeah, you have promised that you're going to share money today. So I'm waiting
Okabe,
for money. So
you are the money man.
that's what billionaires do. All right, guys. Good evening and welcome to our sales masterclass. This promises to be another terrific edition. It's going to be insightful. So I want you to sit back and listen. If you have people that should be here and they've not joined yet, reach out to them, nudge them that this session has started. They don't want to miss this one because it's going to be insightful. Every time I discuss real estate, I feel excited because it's one of the surest ways to create wealth. In fact, if you permit me to say, it is the most reliable way to preserve wealth. There is wealth creation, there is wealth preservation. Real estate does not just give you a return on investment, it gives you way more than return on investment. It gives you return on posterity. It gives you returns beyond the immediate that can be passed from generation to generation. So that's why they said the best investment on earth is the earth itself. So every time a conversation is going on about real estate, please be interested. Be interested. Peep into it. Whether it's a knowledge that was just flying and you connected to it, or a knowledge that you intentionally went for. Never ignore real estate. I am an avid reader and also I love to do research. And I know one of the things that helped me in my journey to wealth creation was that I read a lot of volumes about successful people. I read a lot of volumes about rich and wealthy people. And I wanted to understand what makes up their portfolio. And I realized that there's virtually no wealthy person that doesn't have real estate as a major part of their portfolio. And the reason is very obvious. Business or wealth creation also follows the law of demand and supply. Whenever supply is short, demand shoots up. And right now, they are not making lands anymore. The size of land globally is not increasing. The places where we make land, people pay premium for it. It means whenever we recover land by sand filling, it's always at a premium. So you can't get it cheap. That's why some of the most expensive real estate in the world today, there are real estate around places where land was recovered. You have water, so they had to sand fill to create an environment for, the elites, people of affluence to live in. So real estate is a scarce commodity. Forget that you have plenty of land in your village that looks like it doesn't worth anything today. The village of yesterday is the city you and I that we are living in today. So watch out because what you call a village today, a forest, a bush, will become the city of tomorrow. So always be interested in real estate. Acquire knowledge that will help you make informed decisions. When I was trying to expand my wealth creation net, right? I had many options of things I could focus on, but I realized that of all the options, the one that looked like it would take me there fastest was real estate. So I started real estate as a realtor, selling for my mentor who has a real estate company. So if you're at that level now, please do it with all excitement because you will learn a lot. If your dream is to own your own real estate company sometime, someday, then take advantage of the opportunity to sell for companies like Pertinence and learn. The good thing about the learning curve from my experience as a realtor was that it helped me avoid a number of pitfalls that my mentor had to go through, and I learned from it. Today, being a realtor with Pertinence, for example, will help you learn so much such that in the future you'll become a better version of whatever you are saying today. So never joke with real estate. Always hang around it. Lately, I've been very much interested in building stuffs around technology, AI, and trying to position for the future of what the global economy will be like in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Now, because I now interact with a lot of people in that space, I realized that most of them that created wealth via the tech route, after the money comes, they always need a place to keep the money. And take it from me, real estate is one of their biggest go-to place. So don't joke with real estate. Now that we have established the value of real estate, can we now go into our topic for the day? Because that's why you came. How to sell real estate to tough customers. How to create the perception of value first, so that when we want to illustrate this topic, we will magnify real estate more than the tough customers. Because at the end of the day, the so-called tough customers actually need the real estate that you are selling. But we will not deny the fact that there are tough customers. From experience, some of the toughest customers I've had to work with later became my major advocates in business. I give a practical example. I have this lawyer in Canada. He's from a part of Nigeria that he feels they have been marginalized. So he doesn't want to do anything in Nigeria. But do you know that we were friends for many years? I did not have to directly sell real estate to him. The things that I did will reflect in the slides that we're going to talk about today. But this is where I'm going. That person eventually reached out by himself and said, I want to buy land in one of the choicest estates that we have in Nigeria. He did not only buy, he referred his friends to buy, his lawyer friends. He did not stop there. He went ahead to buy in Abuja. And when he wanted to construct again, he got back and said, you guys should be the one to construct for me. And the building is near completion. But not just him, his friends also are constructing. Now, that's an example of someone that is supposed to be a difficult customer. Somebody that does not want to hear Nigeria, that has not been in Nigeria for many years. You get what I'm saying? So, practical example. And someone that does not want to hear Lagos, but ended up buying in Lagos, but not just buying very expensive property, and went ahead to buy in Abuja and started building. So the reality is there are difficult customers, but the truth is real estate will always be something that even the difficult customer will eye. They will be interested in it. Their eyes will be in it. So take note of that. So let's move. When it comes to real estate, and managing tough customers, it is good to establish that trust is everything. Sales is all about trust. In most cases, the people you call tough customers are customers that are yet to trust you enough to do business with you. I've said it over and again that people will buy into you first before they buy into your product. So you must put in the best effort to sell yourself to people. The example I gave about a client in Canada came from simply selling myself to the person, selling trust. So it got to a point that without asking the person to buy directly, just by positioning myself as someone that knows what he's doing and can be trusted, he reached out by himself. All the times that we're having conversations that we're talking against Nigeria or discouraging people, this is not a place to invest, the country is this, is that, I never objected. I listened and tried to understand his pain points. And I started relating with him based on that. Now, from day one, he knew what I was into and will always talk against that thing, which is real estate in Nigeria. And tell people, if you have money, don't think of Nigeria. Buy only in US, buy in Canada. Forget Nigeria. That's not the place to go to. That's a tough customer. But building trust, making myself likable to the customer was a game changer. So what are you doing as a realtor to sell yourself to that tough customer? One of the major things you can do is to position yourself as a value creator. The simple reason is because nobody wants sycophants around them. They want people that will add value. They want the value to be mutual. So if you hang around a customer and it is written obviously on your forehead that the only reason why you are getting close to the customer is because you want to sell to the customer, it will raise skepticism and it will make it difficult for the customer to trust you. But if you position yourself as someone that wants to add value, remember we started by talking about the value that real estate has. And you do that in many ways. Intelligent conversation, sharing opportunities with them. In fact, showing that you are interested in them beyond just selling to them. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So even that customer that you believe has the money, but is being tough, because there's no point discussing about a customer that does not have the money and you're calling the person tough customer. You're just wasting your time. The person does not have money. There's difference between somebody does not have money. He's not tough. Any day, poverty will humble anybody, right? So the person is not tough. Poverty can even make you angry, will make you unnecessarily stubborn and overly reactive. So that one is not a difficult customer. Though it's not a tough customer. Don't bother yourself about that person. Focus more on the guy that you know this person has the resources, but you are asking yourself, how do I penetrate this defense so that the person can pay attention to you? So you must position yourself as a value creator. The customer must feel comfortable around you before they can make that investment decision. Most times when we say our customers are tough, it's because they've not gotten to the point of comfort. The point where they feel, okay, even though this money is hard earned, this person that is trying to sell to me have proven to me that he understands that I did not make this money easily. One of the best ways to sell to diasporas is to acknowledge the stress they go through before making money. They will just love you. When realtors sell to diasporas and you do not show them that you understand that they go through a lot to make money, it will be difficult for you to sell to them. One thing they don't want to hear when you call them is when you say, permit me to use a little Yoruba, echo enjoyment, echo gbadun. They don't want to hear that they are enjoying, because as far as they are concerned, most of them in the diaspora actually work their life out to make every money that they make. And because of that, you must show that empathy. You must show that kind of connection with them, that I know it is not easy to make this money. So because I know it is not easy to make this money, I am here to ensure that the value I'm creating for you will be worth it at the end of the day. So we must establish that trust is the foundation upon which we can solve the problem for tough customers. And you know that if you don't have a solid foundation, there's nothing to build on. So we must put in all the effort to sell trust. That customer must trust you. You must show that customer that you are interested in them, not just in the land you want to sell. Once you are able to establish trust, then we can now begin to look at what do these customers think in their head, and why is it that they are finding it difficult to trust, and why is it that they are being tough or rigid, they are being difficult, the sales are not coming, you have been on them for a while. Because we'll see, analyze in the next slide different kind of tough customers. And I know, but for most of us, the people who call tough customers are people that we have been on their case for months or for years. I have an example of a lady that followed up for 2 good years, and eventually, when we're going to close the deal, it was a crazy deal. But she had to wait 2 years. Those are examples of tough customers. But we were together through that 2 years journey. And she just had that confidence that this person will eventually buy. Not many of us like to go through that route. We like those customers that the money would have been ready. They are the one looking for you. Yeah, we have many customers like that. And that's why there are products that you sell that if you have the right information and you are in the right network, it will be easy to sell. A practical example is anything around the Bedrileki Ekpe axis that is a genuine land. Normally, for a top selling realtor, you should not struggle to sell those places right now. If the place is in that axis and has genuine title, you shouldn't struggle, because there are so many things working in favor of that axis. The international airport is coming there. Construction, I think it has started or it will be starting soon. The green line, for train, that will be starting this December. Dangote refinery is sitting there already. The seaport is there. Free trade zone is there. A lot of big manufacturing companies already positioned. They've bought properties there, factories here and there. But the biggest of it now is that many real estate developers are around there. So the speed at which that place will develop within the next 5 to 10 years is going to be crazily alarming. So there are smart investors that have all this information. You don't even need to talk much. They just want to verify that this land is a land that is good and I can buy, and you will not struggle to sell. But those are knowledgeable investors. Not many investors are knowledgeable enough to buy at that level. So the psychology of the difficult customer is number one. This might just be another fraudulent transaction. Will you blame them? No. Especially in our part of the world, in Nigeria, where we have seen many fraudulent cases, starting from Omonile cases, that's the indigenous owners of land, to some real estate companies, and even the government at times, have been found wanting, because maybe two different ministries in the government are sending two conflicting documents, and at the end of the day, people run into trouble. A practical example is what is happening in Ekpe now. For most people that acquired Ekpe land some years ago, as at when the acquisition started, they had nothing to do with NTDA. All you needed to do is work with the Surveyor General's office, the Ministry of Lands, and you're good. So people bought land, they checked that it was free from acquisition, they applied for allocation, and all of sort like that. But all of a sudden, another government agency, NTDA, came up and said this is now under Newtown Development Authority. So every land in that axis, processing of document is hereby put on hold. That alone caused a lot of catastrophe in the real estate space in Ekpe. Those are examples on when government itself made things difficult for people when they want to buy. But these are not things that happens every day. And everyone that genuinely bought one way or the other will be able to get these issues resolved with the government. But it's important for you to understand that the psychology of an average difficult or tough customer is that this might just be another fraudulent deal. So you have a responsibility to prove to them that it is no fraud. You can prove that by number one, talking about the credibility of the company that is selling the land to them. Of course, the first credibility is yours. Don't joke about that. That's why we started by saying build trust. Your credibility even supersedes that of the company. That is the truth. Before the customer must trust you first before they can trust the company. So most of the customers of real estate companies, they are actually customers of the realtors. Because in the real sense, it took the customer trusting the realtor before coming to the company. So it's important that you establish that. But you must make them trust the company too. Anytime you are talking about fraud, there are always exceptions to cases. I remember that we did a transaction about 2 years ago. Normally on our forms, we will say, oh, there is no refund or blah, blah, blah. And the reason why we say that is because we don't want people that are just nonchalant. You know, business is about planning. You don't just put money in a business and tomorrow you say you want to come and take it. It's not a bank. You only do that with a bank. In fact, in this part of the world, in Canada and the US, if you buy a property, this what I want to share with you now is very crazy. A lot of people they are in deep mess because of what I want to share with you now. Of course, people buy mortgage here. So in most cases, you can buy at a pre-construction stage. Pre-construction meaning that you bought when they have not even started building. So you will choose the design that you want and you make maybe a 5% deposit and they will start building the house. So when it's time that the house is completed, it is expected that you should have prepared so that you will qualify for a mortgage for you to be able to take possession of the house. So the contract between you and the developer states that this 5% is just a commitment fee. With this 5%, I will build this house completely. But when I'm done building, your bank must pay for this house. So the business will now be between you and the bank going forward so that you can be refunding the money to the bank over 25 or 30 years as the case may be. But do you know that we ran into some housing crisis in Canada, especially within the last 2 years, and it impacted on the prices and value of most properties. And also, a number of people lost their job in the process. And it's now difficult for them to close those deals. So the 5% that they paid when it was time, because the cost of borrowing from the bank has gone higher than before, most of them could not qualify for mortgage. So maybe the house that was meant to be 500,000, and as at the time you wanted to apply, you no longer qualify for up to 500,000. You only qualify for 200,000, 300,000 because interest rate has gone up and the banks are being careful not to run into another economic holocaust. So most people that paid those 5%, they did not only lose the 5%, they were charged again to court. The developers, they are still, in possession of the property. They will send it to someone else. But the fact that you made deposit and you failed to fulfill the contract as at when due, you will be taken to court again. You will have to find a way to settle with them in most cases so that it won't go that far. Except if you also have a way to transfer the property to someone else to buy, so you won't have to go through those stress. But let me go back to the story. I just had to quickly share that by the side. So normally we say no refund, blah, blah, blah. But this particular customer that is supposed to be a tough customer that was afraid of fraud came up and said, okay, I want to buy 200 million worth of something with you, but I need you to sign that if this transaction goes wrong, you will refund my money. Those are exceptions to the rule. The condition upon which he will be asking for a refund is if this transaction goes wrong because he was afraid of a fraudulent activity. So there are times customers are afraid that way. Don't just shut the door. Discuss with your managers, discuss with the owners of the company. Can you give a guarantee to this customer of money back if anything goes wrong? You'll be shocked that as small as that, it can change the game for you. Because you can't lose big sales because a customer is afraid of fraudulent activity. Now you have proven your reputation, you have proven the reputation of the company, but the customer is still tough. Those are extra mile effort you can put in place for that to happen. Another reason why customers become reluctant is also the fear for the value of the real estate you are selling. If you look at Nigeria, for example, the inflation rate has been crazy to the point that people keep asking themselves, what investment can I put money that will put me ahead of inflation? That's why you needed to be knowledgeable. If you are a realtor in this room, don't joke with historical data about real estate, and let those data be genuine from reliable sources. By the time you share this data with your customer, helping them see how much this same land cost about 5 or 10 years ago, how much it is now. And with those data, you can easily predict what the future will likely be like. Another thing you can do is to compare the real estate you are selling with many other investments. That's why, as a realtor, you should not be knowledgeable about real estate only. Know a little about stock, know a little about Bitcoin, know a little about money market instruments, know a little about gold, know a little about different investments. So that when you are speaking to a customer and they are trying to object you on the ground of inflation, you can easily defend by saying, see what the crypto look like so time, but as good as it is, it can be highly volatile. See what happened to crypto. People that had Bitcoin and it was worth so $1,000 some years ago, see how much it's worth now. Are you the kind of customer that is comfortable with this volatility? Go to the capital market, discuss stocks, tell the person how that one little information change can crash the capital market. But it hardly happens with real estate. A lot of back and forth. I give a practical example. I'm speaking to you from the US now. President Donald Trump has so many policies that looks like, is this still a good place for investors to come to? Well, let me shock you something about something. As much as real estate might not be doing exceptionally well, the crash in the real estate market right now is not as bad as what happens in the stock market. In one day, at times, just the information that China said going forward, they want to restrict or limit the sales of some, what they call minerals that will be useful for a lot of manufacturing globally, that they want to restrict or limit the countries they sell to and the quantity. Just one day, you needed to see the way the market crashed. There are decisions the president makes on this and bam, everything just goes down. But that hardly happens with real estate. So you need to be knowledgeable about how real estate will always help the investor edge against inflation. Then another psychology is, how am I sure about the title? As a realtor, that's why you need to be knowledgeable. You must take basic courses around what makes a land title perfect. You must know what a survey is, what a deed of assignment is, what a power of attorney is, what a governor's consent is, what a CFO is, what does a court judgment, what's the relationship between a court judgment and the title of a property. When you move away from that, you want to know what are the different agencies of government that regulate real estate in Nigeria, and which ones do you belong to or your organization belong to. You want to know about those that also regulate building and construction. All of these things. When your that difficult or tough customer sees that you have enough knowledge about all of these things, it makes it easy for them to trust you. They just see you as a subject matter expert. They see you as an authority in what you are trying to sell to them. So your role or your primary goal is to put your customer at a point of FOMO, FOMO, where they will fear the fear of missing out. Every time you are armed with enough knowledge to manage the psychology of the buyer, you create FOMO for them. They are afraid, the fear of missing out of that deal, because you already thought of all the objections that might come from them, and you have answers for them before it comes in. In fact, you answer it before they ask, just by your behavior, by your communication. At times, you don't even need to be the one to say it. You can just find a material that is useful, that will help them, forward to them. At times, it's good for that tough customer to hear from a third party. If they are hearing from you alone, it looks like you are just trying to sell to them at all costs. But once they hear from a third party, it convinces them. Now, I was working on a pitch recently that is meant to attract investors into a particular tech business that we're doing. And as much as I've done enough research and I've gathered insights and the data, they are just there to back up the fact that any investor that misses out of this opportunity 5 years from now will feel like, oh, why was I blind that I didn't see this? But you know, when I was done, I asked myself, this is you presenting this data. Wouldn't it be nice for you to point them to one or two places so that they will see, can hear from other people talking about the opportunity you are trying to present? That way, they get to trust you beyond just what you have said, but they are confirming from other people. You know, there's power in cross-referencing, and there's power in a referral in the sales game. In the process of building trust that we talked about earlier, one of the easiest way to do that is when you point to the difficult customer, other people that you have served, and you are confident enough to say, ask this person whether this thing is good or not. It's easier for them to buy. I'm telling you, these are ways to deal with tough customers. If you have people that you have served very well and you feel they know those people, whether they know them or not, if you can tell them, oh, or find a way. That's why testimonials are powerful. When people buy from you, feel free to tell them if they don't mind, if you have done well, if they want to tell you through a short message. And those are the things you can push out there. So it's important that you change that psychology in the head of the tough customer. So these are different kind of difficult customers. And I know that in your journey of selling real estate, you would have met a few of these people. The first one are the indecisive one. You know, that person that will always tell you, I will think about it. Now, every time you meet that I will think about it customer, I want you to first sit down and understand if that customer is actually the right customer for the product that you are trying to sell. Because they can be the right customer, but the product you are trying to sell is not the product for them at the moment. For example, someone whose total income in a year is less than 2 million naira, and you are trying to sell a land of 50 million because you feel the person dresses well. It's all packaging. He doesn't have the 50 million. But he will never tell you he doesn't have the 50 million. So he keeps telling you, don't worry, I'll think about it. I'm planning, I'm doing it. So you must first identify to be sure that you are selling the right product. Now, that person is giving you attention because he's interested in real estate, but not to the price point that you are presenting to him. So that's why it's important for you to understand the customer you are dealing with. But every time you hear, I will think about it, don't worry. There's a solution to it. We will discuss it as we continue. There are customers also that are overly demanding. Have you not seen customers that there is nothing you want to say? They will ask for discount. And you know that that discount, it's either going to make the deal flop or it's going to affect your own income. So these are customers that, even though they look tough, there are ways to manage it. Some of them can stress you as a realtor. Multiple inspections. We go to a site today and tomorrow they will call you again. The same thing that you told them just yesterday. By the time they are calling you today, they are asking the same question and you are wondering, I explained this. As if it isn't enough. The next day they will call you again and ask the same thing. You have gone to site 2 months ago. They will call you again. Can we go to that site again? I want to check something. So these are tough customers. There are also customers that tries to go beyond their boundaries. They are overly demanding in that maybe you are a young lady and you are trying to sell, and you observe that the customer is looking for more beyond land. These are practical things, so we can shy away from it as a realtor. Or you are a young man and the person you are talking to is looking for something beyond just the land that you are selling. You know they have this money. You want to sell to them, but they are overly demanding. What they are asking from you is not the ethics of your profession does not permit you to do it. It is not legit to do it as a professional. So we have customers like that. We have the skeptic too. These are customers that are highly suspicious. There's nothing you want to tell them. They are afraid of scam, they are afraid of fraud. These are customers that you face, especially if you are selling real estate in Nigeria. Like I said earlier, will you blame them? No. Simply because a lot of things happening in our country, Nigeria, can easily instigate fear in the minds of people when it comes to buying. So when you meet customers that are skeptics, when you meet customers that are highly suspicious, remember, you are first, you and them, you are suspects to yourself. Take it that way. The last time I think we talked about the funnel or customer loyalty ladder, where we talked about in the first phase being suspect. So at that point, the client is suspecting you. You yourself, you are not yet sure whether the person will buy, but you want to move the client, the person from suspect to becoming a prospect. A prospect is that means the person has started paying attention. They might want to take that decision if you manage them well. So if you manage them well, they move from a prospect to becoming a customer. And by that loyalty ladder, a customer is somebody that is buying from you for the first time. That is a customer. Now, after sales service will determine whether they will buy a second time, whether you can upsell or cross-sell them. By the time you're able to achieve that upselling or cross-selling and they buy again, they become clients based on the customer loyalty ladder. But the biggest win for you as a realtor is when those clients become your advocates, when they become your ambassadors, when they become your raving fans, and they go everywhere to confidently tell people to come and buy from you. That should be your goal as a realtor. So it is possible to move a customer that is skeptic, a suspect, up the ladder till they become your advocate. So don't run away from them. Enjoy dealing with them. Another one is difficult customers. Some of them can be aggressive. I'm speaking about cases that we have seen in the course of this journey. There are ways to manage them. Aggressive customers that talk to people anyhow just because you want to sell to them. We have heard of cases where customer even slapped somebody out of, a lot of, I don't want to go into details, but we've seen a lot in the last 2 decades of doing this business. So these are all tough customers. So what do you do? How do you manage them? Let's run through it as we begin to close. Number one, you must always stay patient and professional. Very important. Now, when dealing with tough customers, you're already aware that they are tough customers. The first thing is always complain, be transparent whenever you are relating with them. As far as they are concerned, if they cannot see through clearly about what you are trying to sell, it will be difficult for them to make an informed decision. So the transparency starts from how easily you allow them verify. It's okay to trust, but trust does not mean you shouldn't verify. So don't be impatient when your customer says, I want to verify before buying. Once they sense the impatience in you, because they said they wanted to verify, it will automatically make them become tough or difficult. The only reason why they will buy from you is because, they have the fear of missing out. They know the location is good. They know the land is good. They know it's a worthwhile investment. But if you are impatient, at that point, you will see them becoming tough. And they see you as, why are you pressuring me? Please give me some space. Once they start telling you that, it simply means you did not manage it well. You weren't professional enough. So transparency and allow for verification. That's what professionals do. In fact, you are supposed to assist them in any way you can in verifying. Point them to how they can verify so that they will know that you also played your role in this transaction. They might want to verify the authenticity of the company. Any way you can help them, show them the company's website, If the company has an office, give them the Google, whatever, the, what do you call it? Coordinate, so that they can check and point. You know, even on Google today, you can type the address and you see whether that office actually exists. And that's for those that are not in the country. For those around, if they want to visit the office, allow them visit the office. If they feel they want to talk to a third party or they want to seek a second opinion, allow them do it. If you are not patient and if you don't show professionalism, it is easy for a customer that was supposed to be an easy one for you to become a difficult one. Let's move to the next one. Speak facts and set only realistic expectations. Now, for you to play well as a realtor, you need to really increase your knowledge base. The more you know about what you are selling, the easier it is for you to sell. Most objections that we experience on the field and we are not able to counter or resolve, they come from the fact that we don't have enough knowledge about the objections that will likely come from these tough customers. So that's why you must always be prepared. Preparation is very important when selling real estate. So I will advise you, one of the things you can do is, why not be regular in every realtor meeting? For example, Pertinence has its realtor meetings every week and every other week. Try to be there. No knowledge is wasted. Every knowledge, no matter how small, always be at the realtor meetings. There's always something to gain. At times, it might just be with your colleagues. There's power in connection. Don't be in this business and run it in isolation. Things might be happening and you will not even know. The beauty about coming together is that once in a while too, at the realtor meeting, we should have scenario painting where people will come and share their experiences. So realtor meetings also should not just be about teaching. We should allow the realtors to come share their experiences of how they close deals, how they manage difficult customers. You might be shocked that what is a struggle for you today, somebody just overcame it. And what they did to overcome it, in a meeting, you can just get it cheaply. So that's why it's important that you prepare. And the preparation helps you inject so much knowledge into yourself, such that when you are dealing with these tough customers, you'll be speaking facts. You can be making projections. Why is it that for some of us, we don't see any customers tough? Rather, those customers we call tough, they are the kind of customers we enjoy the most because they give us opportunity to share what we know that we don't have anybody to teach. You know what it means when you have enough knowledge, information, but there is nobody to teach. That's why they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. The teacher is always there with the knowledge. Those top customers, they make us enjoy. You know, by the time you start exchanging back and forth and they start querying, asking questions, do this, do that, it will strengthen you. It will make you become a better version of yourself as a realtor. So very important. The third one, which is one of the biggest one, and this is where most realtors miss it. We don't listen actively and we don't ask clarifying questions. For example, the guy that I said earns 2 million a year and you are selling 50 million to him. One of the major reasons why you make that mistake is because you do not understand the customer. You don't know what they need as at that point, and you have not been able to enter into their mind to know what they are thinking. And the only way you can achieve that is, as much as you want to talk, let them speak. It is easier to sell to someone if they are the one that confess what they need than for you to be selling different products that they don't need. So you must learn to ask questions. For example, you are speaking to somebody and you did not start from saying, I want to sell land to you. But you ask questions like, what are the 3 things that, as far as you are concerned, is a must-have for anyone that really wants to create wealth? You'll be shocked that most of them will mention real estate. It was just a question that you asked. And the person can say, number one, if you have a good business that is paying you money, the person will look again and say, number two, maybe if you have investment where you don't have to work, people are working and the investment is paying you, and maybe they now say number three, real estate. Every rich person must have real estate too. Now, you already know that they are thinking real estate. because you ask them for the top 3 things they believe is a must-have for somebody that wants to create wealth, and they mention real estate. Now, when you want to respond to them, don't pick real estate only. Be interested in the 2 other things they talk about. Be interested in business. Be interested in investment. But you know that at the end of the day, it is real estate that you want to sell. So by the time you give an example, look at what you now say. Oh, now you talked about business, but you have not started business. Why is it that you have not started business? And the person say, it's you to start business right now. It's not small. Before you rent shop, before you do this, and say, oh, how much do you think it should cost? And what kind of business are you looking at? How much do you think it will cost? When the person tells you, and the person mentions 20 million, and it's already telling you that the reason why he has not started business is because of the money. You should know that you shouldn't sell a 50 million land to that person, because he needs 20 million to start his business. He has not been able to raise it, and you are talking about 50 million naira land. That should already help you do, that's financial checks you are doing, so that you can know, okay, this person needs 20 million. Say, okay, but don't you think that rather than waiting to start business, since you mentioned 3 things as core, real estate might be one of the things you can start small, because the beauty of real estate is that you can even buy in places that looks ridiculously cheap, and tomorrow, while you are asleep, your money is working for you, and you are waking up every day, the value of the property is going up, and the person say, wow, are you sure? How cheap are those lands? You now begin to give options. Now, this is a conversation helping you to understand the customer first. You understand what they need before you start selling to them. And that can only happen if you actively listen to them, if you ask questions. So most of the time, the people you call tough customers is because you have not asked them the right question. So depending on the kind of customer it is, there is a question you will ask that will just suggest to you what this customer need, and you just go and do that exact thing, and the customer buys from you. I have 2 more. The next one is offer alternative deals or allow compromises. I mentioned it earlier. Don't be too rigid when dealing with tough customers. Don't forget, negotiation is part of the skill you must have as a realtor. Negotiation skills. Because the so-called tough customer, you must put them at the point where what you are selling to them, you want to make them feel like they are the one cheating you. Yeah. One of the ways to sell to tough customers is that you package so much value and present to them. By the time they see all the value, they will be like, man, I am smart. Anytime you are trying to prove that you are smarter than a tough customer, it will be a difficult one for you. Always make the customer look smarter than you, that tough customer. By the time you are done creating value, putting all the value that is coming together, when you mention price, they will no longer see price, they will see value. And because they are seeing value, they are feeling like they are the one even cheating you. That is how to deal with some difficult customers. You must be open to let them know wherever there are promotions too. Yeah, that's why in Pertinence we will say promo does not end. Because there are customers that will not buy, they will always wait for those promotions. So those tough customers, that's when to go back to them and say, I know I was with you 3 months ago, you couldn't buy. Do you know that our company is celebrating social anniversary? And because of that, part of the ways to give back to the society is that we have decided to do promo. Or normally our cost of being on the media, radio, newspapers, billboard for the company has been very huge. And the company just thought of it, that why spend this money on radio, on TV, on billboard? Why not give it back to our customers within the next 1 month? So that cost of advertising is now given back to customers as discount. Please take advantage of it before this opportunity closes. That's a way to offer them. You compromise. What about payment plan? Yeah, the organization might have a rigid payment plan. Yeah, it happens because at times some buyers wants to prove smart. They take advantage of the real estate company. Let me give you a practical example. A land that is being sold for maybe 10 million naira today, and the customer is asking for a maybe 1 year payment plan, and is saying, I don't want to pay any interest, just that 10 million for 1 year. Now, and you signed a deal with the customer and they made a deposit of just 500,000. and they did not make deposit again until like the 7th or 8th month or 9th month or 10th month. Now, what they have done to you and the real estate company is that for the real estate company, they have tied down their money because they didn't pay every month. So the real estate company is losing money while the value of the property keeps going up. For you as a realtor, they have delayed your commission for so long. So some of them at the end of the day, what they now do to prove that they are smart is they go and sell that property to someone else at a higher value than the 10 million that they bought from you and made deposit to come and pay you the difference. That's why for most companies now, payment plan has been structured around if you default, there should be consequences for those default. And part of the consequences should be that the land can be revoked from you. So it's important for some of them that are genuine and serious, even if there's no payment plan, you can negotiate a payment plan with them. Maybe they pay a little bit higher and you give them a longer time to pay. And you speak to the company and say, okay, I have this difficult customer. They want to buy. I know normally you have said outright only, but I'm standing as a surety for this customer that the payment will be consistent and they will follow the terms of the contract. Before you know it, you have a deal. Finally, follow up and actively making recommendations. Now, we started this conversation with building trust, saying that trust is at the foundation of selling as a realtor and dealing with difficult customers. Now, trust should not end with sales. The trust you're building should be a cycle that never ends. Meaning that after you sell to that customer, you have sold to the customer, you mustn't stop communicating with them. You mustn't stop sharing insight with them. You mustn't stop keeping in touch with them just because you have now closed the deal and you have gotten your commission. Relationship building is very important when it comes to dealing with tough customers. In most cases, the next customer that will buy from you lies inside a real customer that bought from you yesterday. How you treat that customer that bought from you yesterday will determine whether you will sell to the next customer. And like I said earlier, some difficult customer that you will deal with, the easiest way to solve the problem you're having with them is for someone else that have bought from you and add good value to tell them that no, these people are not like that. I have bought from them before. I did not regret it. But if you abandoned the person that you sold to and you did not follow up, how will it stand to reference you? Now, for the tough customers, you mustn't stop following up with them. Every time you have testimonials, just share with them. You have insights, share with them. Just keep the communication gap open. You are not going to be a pest to them. That's why in understanding your customers, one of the things you should have done is to ask them how best they love to be communicated with. Some people just want chats. Some are okay with calls. Some are okay with emails. So if you do too much of what they don't like, they'll get pissed off and they don't want to talk to you again. So it's important that once you know how best they love to be communicated with, another thing you should study is the frequency with which they want this communication to come. Then do that. But finally, you know what you should do? Position yourself so that they will always be seeing you. They say out of sight is out of mind. And how do you do that? How can you be a realtor and your WhatsApp status is not always sharing information about what you are selling? There are people that opens it, you think they are not interested. As they keep seeing that that's what you do, the day they want to buy or somebody wants to buy, they will call you. But your WhatsApp status daily has nothing to do with the real estate you are selling. That's not actively following up, because follow-up does not mean calling those customers. It means every time they see you or check on you, they should see that you are still selling what they want to buy from you. That's part of follow-up. You're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and you are not posting on daily basis. Today, most of us celebrate bloggers. You think it's easy to blog? You can become a real estate blogger too and just be posting. So today you see maybe Linda Ikeji, you see Tunde Edna. Go and check their pages, the number of posts they do every day. Not all the posts have the same level of traction on daily basis, but with time, people see them as subject matter expert when it comes to gossip. Because what they are doing is majorly gossip. And people go there on daily basis when they want to gossip to know what is happening. if you become that real estate blog with your Instagram or Facebook account, and every day you keep posting things, information, it doesn't have to be from your own source, but whenever you use someone else's source, make sure you reference the people so you won't run into intellectual property problem. Reference where you got it from, but let it be that people know that when they come to your platform, you're always saying this. The same thing for LinkedIn. It's a professional platform. Are you beginning to put up write-ups that connect professionals with investment in real estate and why they should know? Are you writing about how ignorant most professionals are when it comes to investment? They know so much about their work, but they know little about how to manage the money that they are working for. Just find a way to be in the faces of people always. That is also part of follow-up and making recommendations to those top customers. Before you know it, because of what they see you do, they will come to you. Should I shock you? The client that I told you about that later bought from us in different places, what he eventually saw was a post that I made on social media, and the post had Professor Pat Utomi as one of the people that owns property in that estate. And that was it. Because the person respects Professor Pat Utomi so much and says, if this man can buy, then it should be good. That was the day the person reached out to me that, oh, I saw this post that you made. Oh, do you know Professor Pat Utomi? I said, yes, he's the chairman of the advisory board of our company, blah, blah, blah. And he also owns a plot in that estate. He said, wow, that's interesting. So tell me about that estate. That was how the deal was closed. So imagine if I did not post it. So you must always be there letting people know what you are doing. It's very important. And with that, you are actively following up and you are doing what we call suggestive marketing. Oh, I just checked my time now and I've spent 50 something minutes on this training. So it's a good place to stop and open the floor for a few questions that we might be able to take. Thank you everyone for listening to me, and I'm here to support every one of us through the journey of dealing with difficult customers. Part of what you should do when dealing with difficult customers is that don't manage them by yourself alone. If you need to talk to an higher authority, talk. There, I tell our managers in the office, there are sales you should escalate to us. Don't try to close the deal at your table if it's looking, if it wants to have K-leg. Push it up. We're always willing and happy to talk to these customers, to negotiate, to find a meeting ground. So for you too, don't ever give up on any customer. If it's becoming too tough for you, why not ask for help? And just one statement from somebody they trust. I've seen people that bought from us only because they spoke with me. I'm telling you, all the customer needed was, okay, I want to speak with the owner of the company. They needed that assurance. Some of them wants to be sure that they have direct access to the owner of the company. Of course, somebody at this stage now, you think somebody wants to do big investment and does not have the right to act to speak with the owner of the company. You know, it all depends. One of our realtors today still closed a major deal of over 100 million, and the customer did not need to speak with me. He spoke with me on behalf of the customers, and the customer was asking for a payment plan and a discount and blah 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 blah. And I said, okay, this is how we're going to work it out. Go back to the customer, tell the customer A, B, C, S, Y, Z. And eventually he reached out to me when I woke up this morning. He said the customer has made a deposit for that payment and will continue to pay following the payment plan. That's over 100 million in sales made. And this same person had already made sales of over 200 million this year, going to 300 million. So people are selling on daily basis. But mind you, he had to talk to me because it was a big deal. He never wanted to miss it. The customer did not require to speak with me, but he spoke with me and I told him what to do, what to say, blah, 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 and the level of discount that has been given. And bam, the sales was closed. The sales, a closed mouth, they say what? Is a closed destiny. Thank you very much. Tolu, I think I'll hand over to you. Let's take questions from the audience. We
All
have
right.
wonderful things
Thank
today. At
you
some
so,
point,
so
you had
much.
not less than 100 people on the call. Thank you
You
very
have not,
much.
thank you so, so much, sir. You have not even finished when people have started clapping and rejoicing. So I think we can still do that. Let's use our favorite emoji to indicate our appreciation. Very, very exciting conversation. I promised you. I promised you. I told you that this session was going to is going to blow your mind, and I believe your mind has been blown. All right, so we'll go right into the questions. I want to believe that we have loads of questions. So I really would have loved that I had mentioned that people can start dropping their question on the chat box. But we still have a little bit of time. I know that doctor is quite busy, but say in the next 10 minutes thereabouts, let's have questions. So please, if you have any question, please indicate on the chat box so that I'll be able to take the question and then we'll go ahead. And of course, I have a major announcement, perhaps two major announcements, for us. So stay tuned on the call so that you don't miss out on anything. And if perhaps we're unable to answer your question today, don't worry, our Realtor platforms are available. We would liaise with the directors, we get the feedback from them, and then we will be able to attend to the question. So I want us to actually type it in on the chat box so that we are not missing out on the context. I know that it's a little bit difficult, but can you please, so Temiloluwa, Gifted and Kemi Okewo, kindly put it on the chat box so that we don't take too much of our time, right? So I will just wait. Doctor said a whole lot of things. Doctor said a whole lot. Uh, Okay, I'm not sure if this is a question. Please, I hope we are having gap this year. Hope we are having gap this year. So I'm trying to get. So what do you mean by gap? Do you mean prep? Maybe the real estate coaching program. So I said I have major announcements. So we are moving the real estate coaching program to become fully digital. We are recording all of the sessions and we would be launching it as a full class, a virtual class that people can sign up on to be a part of. So that is the evolution of prep, the Pertinence real estate coaching program. And so don't miss it. Even if you have attended before, we are evolving, and judging from today's teaching, you can tell that the co-founders, the directors are learning more, and so you don't want to miss out on that. All right, so I have a question here. Is there room for affiliate marketing with pertinence for an aspiring realtor? Definitely, definitely. So okay, part of the major announcements I want to make, and I need everybody to pay very close attention because this is very, very major. So on behalf of the co-founders of Pertinence Group, we are going to be doing a quick discount. And I say a quick discount because um, it's going to be happening in the next 24 hours, give or take. So for as many individuals who are new to the Pertinence real estate, community, if this is the very first time that you are joining us, perhaps for this sales masterclass, we are doing a promotion, a promo, a discount for upgrades to a business rep. So in our ecosystem, the average referral, if you are just selling for us, is 6%. But if you are upgrading business rep, ideally you should pay 10,000 naira to get your 10%. But now, on behalf of the co-founders, we are doing a discount of 50%. And how you can take advantage of that is to visit our Realtor landing page. So the Realtor managers kindly help me to put the link of the real estate of our Realtor landing page there. Click on that pop-up banner. It's only going to be active for 24 hours. Click on the pop-up banner and get your sign up done. So don't just sign up as a realtor, ensure you do your upgrade. All right, so there are opportunities definitely. So I want to go to the question, another question here. How do we register? Okay, I think I've been able to attend to that. Good evening, sir. Thank you for sharing. I want to find out how to code DM potential high profile clients. For example, someone told you so person is a potential customer, but you don't think you have the link. All right. So, doctor, do you want to attend to that very quickly?
Definitely. So, um, every time you get a referral to someone that is high profile, high net worth, or wealthy, and you want to sell to them, it's always difficult to cold call. For those of us that need to understand what cold calling means, it means You are reaching out to somebody that does not know you. He doesn't know you. And you want to reach out to them to sell to them. And this is an high network person. Maybe you are in this room, for example, you are in Lagos and you want to sell to Senator Adams Oshiomhole, that is from Edo State, representing his people in Abuja, and you want to sell to him. He doesn't know you. He has never met you. It will be difficult for you to reach that person without the following things. Number one, it's always good to find somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. Remember, the first law I taught us was patience and professionalism. Most of the time, we just want to get this thing fast. You know, in this world, they say there's maximum of 4 persons between you and anybody you want to meet in the world. Whether we like it or not, President Donald Trump is one of the most powerful people on the face of the earth today. Can you imagine that right now on this call, you only have maximum of 4 people between you and President Donald Trump? For people like us, for example, maybe we have maximum of just 2 people between us and President Donald Trump. And it's simply because there are high-profile people that we know that have direct access to President Donald Trump. I don't have direct access to him right now, but at least I know one person that is high-profile that have direct access to him. How will I get to the presence of President Donald Trump? I must be coming with something that is interested in. If he's not interested, interestingly, to meet a president is you don't have to be doing something very big. You just need to know what they're interested in. At times, it might even be their lifestyle. At times, it might be things that make them laugh, things that make them relax. And you use that as entry point to build a relationship before you actually sell to them. So cold calling can be very tough for HNIs. If you have not said HNIs, there are different ways to manage people that are not necessarily very busy, difficult to reach. But for those that are difficult to reach, it is always easier to play the patience game. Ensure that you work out to find somebody that you know that knows another person that knows another person that knows them. So you now build the relationship from that level up. It might take a little time, but let me tell you the good news. It may take you 2 years for you to meet that person. Should I shock you? In 6 months, once you enter that person's circle, the kind of people he will introduce to you, in 6 months, you will sell what you ought to have sold in the last 5 years that you did not sell. So you see why you should play the patient game. You have to be strategic. It may take time for you to get there, but you will definitely get there. And part of getting there, like I said, is finding somebody that knows somebody. Build relationship with that person first. After a while, let the person hold you by your hand and take you to the next circle. As they move you from circle to circle, it might be a 2-year journey. At the end of the day, you'll get to where you are going and you'll see how easy it is to close big deals because you're in the right circle. Now, let's take it away from referral. For some people that are high network, you must find the channel of communication that is the least busy for them. Let me give you a practical example. If I don't know you and I don't have your number, one of the most difficult way to reach me is WhatsApp. And I'm using myself as example. It may not apply to some other people. If I don't know you and I don't have your number, one of the most difficult ways to reach me is WhatsApp because I wake up every day to, I don't want to exaggerate, I would have said thousands, but I'll say hundreds of messages waiting for me on WhatsApp to attend to. If I have to attend to all, sincerely, I will not be this effective. I cannot be this effective because in terms of priority, there are many other things that I have already itemized to be done each day. That if I don't do them, they keep piling up and it will affect my effectiveness and efficiency. So taking those messages may not be priority to me, especially for people that are cold calling me. But when I pick the phone, I try my best to quickly scan to see anyone that I can quickly attend to. That's why at times, if you are reaching out through those channels, you may have to send again and again until the day the person will wake up and your message will be the one on top. So because your message is the one on top, okay, who is this person? Let me check. But that's not an active way. So if you want to get me, for example, you need to know, okay, which platform is the easiest that when you send a message, I don't have too many messages I'm receiving there and I'm more active there. For a business person, mostly for someone like me, it's most likely email because I'm all every day I want to check up with because that's where the serious business happens to me. That's where I check up with my team. That's where I check up with what is happening and do big deals, communicate with people beyond Africa and like that. So and I'm expecting serious messages there. I don't want to miss them, you know. So that's an example. So if you want to cold call, you must know where best. You have nothing to lose if you have multiple high profile people that you are cold calling. The mistake is we sit down with just one or two persons and we feel if we can only get this Dangote, if I can only get Adenuga, if I can only get Peter Obi, no, it doesn't have to be Peter Obi, Dangote or Adenuga. There are many people that can do business with you. Cold calling is a serious business. So you must have a list of like 100 of them that you are targeting for a start. Just send them messages to see how they will respond to you. If one or two of them responds, then hold them tight, and build that relationship gradually. So it's not always easy. Cold calling is not always the smartest, but it has worked for some people and it can work for you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. That was beautifully addressed. So we have, okay, I have like two more questions here before we round up. Okay, so someone mentioned here that I have someone who wants to buy acres of land in La Vida Prime, and they are asking for the power of attorney. I am guessing
If they
you
want
mean
to buy acres, I will deal with the person. If they have the money and they want to buy acres, whatever they want, I will give them. You're talking of
uh,
acres here, and you know how
yeah,
much we are selling Davida Prime. Don't waste time. Tell them to refer the person to. I'll deal with the person directly. He will get everything
definitely,
that he needs. Those are the kind
definitely.
of sales that I would say, don't worry, money back guarantee.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm putting down the phone number of one of our team members. That's Jumoke. So Jumoke Benjamin Henry is the operations manager at the Lekki office. So for the person asking about the La Vida Prime, reach out to any member of our team. You can contact this number as well, and let's make that money. So we have a question here. I've brought some new realtors to Petty Save Microfinance Bank already. The account is running, but do not yet have a registered Genius account. Yeah, so I understand we are a conglomerate. We have many subsidiaries, many businesses. So we you just in this one question you've mentioned three separate things, right? So I think reach out to Jumoke and let her attend to you. So I just dropped the message. Please, as much as possible, follow the phone number 08162931682 to have that addressed. Okay, the final question here before we take our leave is from Irowen Alex. Said, thank you, sir, for your insight. My question is in managing difficult customers. Say, for example, if a customer gives you the option that if I make payment for clients in diaspora, um, if I make payment in the payment for clients in diaspora, make payments. If I come to see the land, I don't like it. Can I get a refund? So a money back guarantee in case the client does
Yeah,
not
it
like
depends on what the person is buying. But to start with, part of what we do as realtors is to do our work in such a way that we are so transparent. The last time when I was teaching about the sales advantage, I give an example of how that you don't even wait for general site inspection before you sell. Go to the site by yourself, stand on the land and do quality video saying, I'm right here at our estate, Greenland by Pertinence. This estate is X kilometer or X 100 meter from this, is that. Show the surrounding, talk about the opportunities there, the development coming and everything, and let them know that these are the infrastructural plans for this estate. Show them the road, that the road construction has started. The gatehouse is 95% completed. Flowers have been planted, trees are there. You know, do all of that. By the time you are sending to the client, they already have a fair knowledge of what the place looks like. So the question of if I come to visit, I don't like it, will not be there. Another thing you can do is if they are afraid about the access road to the place, and you are very sure that there is very good road, Lekki Epe Expressway, nice one. Why not travel and every do short video of every 10 minutes on the road and talk about and merge it together and make it just like a 2 minutes video and explaining how that you left what's it called, Victoria Island to Lekki, and you took videos at every point and you are intentionally showing the access road to let them know. I'm just letting you know, we are talking about tough customers now, how you would have answered the question, and I'm directing it to this particular question. So the issue of if I come to check and I don't like the place will not suffice because you have done more than enough work for the person. And you have been transparent enough. There's nothing to hide. It is always better when a customer sees your video and says, ah, but I'm seeing some bush there. You need to be armed enough with the knowledge about what to say if they say they see bushes there and what the place will look like. It's simple. Go and you what you just go and do, just go to historical data. Go and look for Morocco the way it was yesterday. And the way so it's all of these things. You just need smart way to deal with these tough customers. So a customer that says where you are is bush or is slum, go and show them Morocco yesterday and Morocco today. Just send to the customer. That's to let the person know how transformation can take place. So it's all about being transparent and being ahead of what the customer is thinking. But in extreme cases, why not? We're beginning to get to a point where when people are buying high ticket, take note of the word high ticket, they need some level of guarantee. And at Pertinence, we are now willing to give them that level of guarantee because we know that what we are selling is genuine and they will not have cost to say they want to collect their money back. Thank you. Tolu,
Thank you
I
thank
think
you
that
so
was
much, sir. Thank you so much. Very good conversation. And like I said, very important information. We are running a discount for business rep upgrade. So visit our website to take advantage of that. If you are not a member of our community, this promotion is for you. You don't want to miss it. Doctor said a whole lot of things, but action is what is required. And then also, we are having the Celebrating You campaign. The Celebrating You campaign is designed for the realtor and for the customer. For the realtor, you get loyalty reward for the locations that you sell, loyalty reward outside of your commission. And for your customer, they get juicy discounts on them. So if you are not on any of our realtor communities, endeavor to be a part of it. Get to know about all of the offers that are available and take action as soon as possible. With that, we've come to the end of today's session. Thank you so much to everyone that joined. We had a very large house, but we can also do better another time. So till we meet again in class, I am your host, Tolu Dushelu. Signing out. Thank you very much. Do have a very pleasant day.